I guess the other advice I have is I said to someone to a colleague of mine yesterday that if I spoke to 10 people who were looking for jobs and asked them what they were going to do to find a job, then I would I would say without any doubt that all 10 of them would say that they would go on to Seek or Career One or any of the other websites to find a job. Um, that's fine, and I don't I'm not for a moment suggesting that you don't do that. But what I am suggesting is that if people simply just do that, then they're really narrowing their ability to be successful. I have what I refer to as the 5 pillars of job search. The first pillar is what I've just explained to you, and that's normally referred to as the published market, and encapsulates obviously jobs that are being advertised in a variety of ways. Um, the second pillar is what I alluded to earlier about jobs not being advertised. Okay, now I mentioned the figure of 80% earlier on. It can vary. It can be anywhere from 65 to 80%. And chances are that it's probably towards that 80% now, because the economy is not going as well as it could be. And employers tend to start looking in their own backyard even more so when things are a little bit more sluggish. But if you're not accessing the unpublished market, or what sometimes people refer to it as is the hidden job market, then effectively you're cancelling out on anything up to 80% of job roles, and that can't be good. Okay, so my suggestion to people is to really work their network, which goes back to what we spoke about a little bit earlier. Because if you're not working your network, and accessing the unpublished market has to be done via your network, then you're really not positioning yourself for success. The other 3 pillars that I always encourage people to have activity in is recruitment agencies, and as we spoke about a little bit earlier, um, because they still are part of the the job process. Now, when I talk about recruitment agencies as a separate pillar, I'm not talking about job roles that are being advertised via recruitment agencies, because that obviously forms part of the published market. But I'm talking about what I said earlier, and that is to establish a relationship with recruitment consultants, and to keep it to a number that is manageable. Because if you have too many, and I tend to equate too many with maybe more than 6, you're not going to be able to really develop a relationship with recruiters to the extent that you should. So that'd be my third pillar. My fourth pillar is what I refer to as reverse marketing. In the very early stages of this interview, I mentioned that sales and selling yourself is extremely important. Reverse marketing is you being a bit more proactive and actually identifying some organisations that you'd like to work for and writing to them. Okay. Now, someone said to me last week that the success rate or the conversion rate in that particular pillar would be very low. And I would tend to agree, because obviously you need to write at the time when they are looking for someone with your skill set. And remembering that that's what we're selling in the marketplace, your skill set. But as I said to this particular person, I said, if you don't have activity in that particular pillar, then I can guarantee that the conversion rate will be zero. I do encourage people to be proactive and to look for opportunities and to put themselves out there for opportunities, which goes back to the whole selling theory, if you like, that we spoke about earlier, and see what happens. I mean, at the end of the day, most people that I know of that are looking for job roles are looking for one job, and if they can get it via that reverse marketing, then why not? I guess the fifth one is what is referred to as LinkedIn, and I tend to put LinkedIn on its own because it is still very much a developing tool for a variety of reasons, but very much an integral part of a job search program, because if for no other reason, we now have recruiters who actually go onto LinkedIn looking for candidates. So as I say, for no other reason other than that, then that's reason enough to have exposure on LinkedIn as part of the job search program. I guess the thing with LinkedIn is not to overdo it, but make sure that the information you put on there is accurate. And again, don't put on LinkedIn that you're looking for a job. Put on there that you're looking for another challenge, that you're looking at investigating certain areas because you're interested in those areas, and what can people tell you about those areas. So in terms of providing other information and other advice, as I say, it's about selling your skill set. It's about knowing your skill set before you can sell it. It's about having activity in those 5 pillars to maximize your opportunities to secure a job role. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. That's your primary objective.